But first, just in time for the summer holidays and vacations, Renee Ford from Shelter Insurance joins us now to talk about insurance with a focus on life insurance. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You know, this can be, we were saying, a topic that can be overwhelming, it can be confusing. You know, how do you make it simple for people to understand when they say, what do I need?
Well, first you want to do an assessment of what they're wanting. And then you base upon what they want, then you can determine how much they need and what they need. For example, if they're wanting to insure their home, and so for example, if they want to insure their home for a certain dollar amount, and then you would just do maybe a mortgage protection loan or insurance for that. So it just depends on what the insured needs or what they're looking for at that particular time.
So when it comes to determining, like, say, how much is enough, what do I need? One of the things I think, do you look at also some of the factors I would think you take into consideration, your salary, what your house is worth, maybe your bills and the things that you would have to pay off. These are some of the things, and maybe what other things would you take into consideration in determining exactly how much you need?
So what we normally do at Shelter is we do a life assessment, and that's what it's called, and we break down your loans, your student loans, your income, and things of that nature, and that's how we determine exactly how much life insurance you would need to cover your family in the event of your loss.
You know, and that's one of the things too, a lot of people think about, you know, life insurance, and they think that, you know, that's probably something good, or that's probably something only people of a certain income bracket have. It's not something for everyone because it's just not affordable or it's too expensive. And you say that's a myth. That's not really true.
You're exactly right. It's not true. We have life insurance policies that can start at $9 a month. And you know, we blow $9 a month. I mean, $9 a day. So yeah, so we can, it's definitely affordable for everybody.
And that's something, like you said, because depending on your lifestyle or your debt or you know, what you have, your assets, then sometimes you may not need as much as you think, or sometimes maybe you need more, depending on those factors.
Yeah, it definitely depends on what you want to do. Like if you want to leave money for your children to go to college, if you want them, you know, leave money to start a business, because when you're buying life insurance, you're not buying it for yourself, you're buying it for your loved ones. You're protecting them in the event of your untimely death. So you want to make sure that when you're doing the policy, that you're taking into consideration if you have small children, if you know what their future is going to be like. You don't want to just leave them without anything. Or your husband.
Right, and I think that's, and how many times do we see this, you know, that horrible story happen where, you know, unfortunately, or something happens, one spouse passes, and there's the other spouse with the kids, and they had to sell the house, or they had to, you know, maybe the kids were, you know, in programs they couldn't be in anymore and doing things because there was no life insurance, and that one spouse could not afford to pay all the bills because it truly was based on a two-income spouse household.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, we see that often. That happens quite often, and that's why, you know, we as agents, we try to do a policy review with our clients every year to assess their needs, because things change every day, and you know, and throughout the year, of course, there can be major changes. So that's what we focus on, to do policy reviews to see what the needs are. You know, if you have enough insurance in place, so we can put that additional coverage into place for you to provide you with the protection that you need.
And one of the things too you were talking about is that sometimes things that we don't take into consideration is there was a scenario you talked about that things right maybe on your property line, and it's right there with your neighbor's property line, and what if this happens or that scenario happens, who's at fault, who's responsible? Talk a little bit about some of those scenarios.
Well, oftentimes when those types of things occur, we normally use our adjuster. We pull our adjusters in on those types of things. If you have a tree that's on your property line and it's kind of leaning over on your neighbor's property, oftentimes I will call an adjuster and have them to go out and look at it and to assess it, to make sure that, you know, who's going to be responsible for the property in the event something were to occur. So we normally use an adjuster for that.
Okay, and that's important, but those things are important to keep in mind, that like you said, a lot of times something happens, you're like, I didn't even think about that. I could be responsible or liable if this happened on my property, but you know, I thought it was at my neighbor's, but it was right there at the property line.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, something before we run out of time that you started doing, and we have some pictures of this we want to put up too. You started this year doing scholarships, and
Yes.
tell us about that.
Well, what I did.
Presenting scholarships.
Yeah, presenting scholarships to, the first scholarship went to Hickson High School student Destiny Davis. And then the second scholarship went to Allen Robinson at Brainerd High School. And this was my first year for doing the scholarships. It was fun. We had an impartial committee who got together with community leaders and selected an individual who had scholarship character, showed great character, did community involvement. And so it was great. And I plan to do it next year and so on.
And that's so important because as a business owner, a small business owner, it's important to give back, and one of the ways is investing in our children.
Exactly, because our children need it. You know, we have to protect our children. We have to take care of our children, and so that's one of the ways in which I felt that would be great is to give out scholarships to our community, to our children.
All right, great effort there, Renee. And we want to let people know that if you have questions, a lot of people do when it comes to life insurance and different things, she can help you out. There is all of her information right there on your screen. Give her a call. There are her hours and her locations, and she'll be glad to answer your questions and to help you out at Shelter Insurance. Renee Ford, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Latrice.
Well, some local churches are teaming up to once again bring back what was once a summertime staple for children. We're talking about Vacation Bible School, what they're doing, and how you can get your kids involved. Stay with us.